All right, everybody. Here we are again from the Vatican. Um, with Pope Gaverty. What's happening, everybody? It's that time of the month or week again. Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Both universes are tuning in. Mr. Gaverty, how are you doing, sir?
I am lit up on excitement, and I was the Monsignor in my kindergarten class and in some kind of outdoor event.
Oh, okay.
I dressed like the Monsignor. So Monsignor, yes. Pope, no.
Pope, no Pope.
But I have been a Monsignor, and I've been called mayor a number of times. But
good.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Well, as we know, I've been working on my mental health. I was talking to everybody else about their mental health, so I'm working on mine. Painful stuff, seriously. Man, honest to God, like you're working on your own mental health. I did not realize, like, it's draining, like to really come to grips with, okay, so in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, for the last 64 years, I've become this, I'm the greatest guy, I'm strong, nobody can get to me. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to realize, well, maybe I have, there's a reason why I'm single. I've had 2 divorces, and maybe look in the mirror.
But, so here's the other thing, though. Mental health and wellness is in vogue, okay?
Yeah, totally.
So I will tell you that you have some great attributes, okay? And you have some great tendencies.
Yeah.
Okay, and you do. Besides the fact that you think you're God's gift to man, but you don't believe in God. So who is sending this gift to all of us? But that being said,
right,
you have a God of your understanding.
Right.
It's your way you actually can shape your own God. That's right up your alley.
Yes, that's me.
Okay, nobody to blame but you. So that's number one. We've taken care of that. All right. Now let's get to the other stuff, the women's situation, relationships. Because obviously we both know that you would be interested in women. There is no confusion in that category. Okay. So everybody out there, please.
Right.
Okay. So communication.
Oh,
okay. Now.
Man. Oh, yeah. All right. So that's a great topic. So here's my thing too. So I thought to myself, I need to be better at communicating.
Yeah.
So I try to make a point now when you first meet somebody, to be very clear, like be vulnerable, open up, tell them all about yourself, good things, bad things. And is received very well. Then they're like, you can get a text back later on. Like, well, that was a great conversation. You really opened up. So what I also tell them very clearly, like, here's my expectation for, like, I'm not a patient guy, as we know.
Right.
So here's my expectation. I like to go all out. I'm not saying you make some like commitment in the first 15 minutes and move in together, but like, let's find out. Let's not dilly-dally around and play the waiting game and trade. I've got to play hard to get, all that kind of stuff. I said, listen, I'm 64. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right? So then there's a certain expectation of, but then the person says, okay, I understand, I agree, but then you get the, well, you can tell what happens too. Like they get talking to their friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't go too fast with this guy. He's a player.
Retired.
God, no, it's like painful. Oh.
Well, all right, there's a little pain, but so here's the thing. You can't go from 0 to 60.
Yeah, you can.
You can, but that's not a relationship. You could go from 0 to 60 in a non-committed relationship.
But okay, can I interrupt you 1 second? I'm sorry. Please. I don't like. I'm not people. No. So, but I'm not saying that you go from 0 to 60, and 60 is saying, "Oh, I love you." I'm just saying, let's go find out right away. Let's not wait around to find out what we have, what potentially have. There may be something like maybe there's something about me that they see right away. Say, that just doesn't work for me, or vice versa. But like to wait like weeks or months to find those things out, to me is like.
Well, you're going to go out to eat with the person, and you're going to have conversation with the person, correct?
Well, absolutely. So, great. See, but here's the thing. It's a small point. I'd rather not go out to eat. I'd rather let's go for a nice long walk together. And so it's just you and I having a nice conversation about some things that we need to get to know about each other.
Great idea. So a cup of coffee, something like that, and you take a walk. Okay. Yeah. So you do that. So once you get past the stats, the age.
Right.
How many kids? Who lives with? Do the kids live with you? Yes or no, and all of that stuff.
So right here, Danny, you could point.
It's a tryout.
Right.
On both ends. Both ends.
Yeah, we're not telling you how much you're going to get played right away. You're just saying, okay, do you make the team or not?
Right.
And we'll go through the season, and by the time we get to the playoffs, we'll know what we have.
Right, but you want to know, you want to meet someone who's also doing that to you in a healthy manner. This all has to be done in a healthy manner. Totally. Don't assume anything. Okay, you really can't assume anything. You can't assume that they have the same principles as you do when it comes to respect.
Right.
Okay. Think about the things that you hold dear to yourself. You don't want to be embarrassed.
Yep.
You want to be respected, and you're going to give respect. I know you do. Okay.
Yep.
So you're going to give and get respect.
Right.
All right. And you don't want to embarrass, and you're not going to embarrass her.
Right.
And you want, if you're going to take the time to be in a relationship, you want it to be a committed relationship.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you have to define in your own mind and then explain it, what that means, committed. Does that mean that if a woman is going out with me, let's say, or you, and you have a lot of, she's just a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
So the same thing with a guy. If a woman says, he's just a boyfriend or whatever. He's an old, or he's an old boyfriend, or my ex-husband sleeps over sometimes, or whatever it might be, but it's in the guest bedroom. Okay. Or the real magic excuse that's always out there for anybody is, they're gay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Or I've known him for 20 years. He's never tried anything. Well.
Oh yeah. But that goes both ways.
Oh yeah. I agree.
That goes both ways. It really does. So we're talking from a male perspective, but it does go both ways.
Absolutely. You're very correct.
You have to build trust with somebody in a relationship. There's a number of hurdles. So you could go 0 to 60, but you have to realize that there's some speed bumps along the way. And the speed bumps are what you and the other person and the woman, what are their they can't deal with. You know what I mean? They can't deal with this. They can't, can you go?
You don't have to be perfect. It's whether you're perfect for each other, right?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, could you go out with an excessive alcoholic? Someone who really, who really likes to drink, really likes to hit the bottle.
How about the other one here too is like a real potty mouth. Like I don't mind a little, swearing once in a while. But when somebody's like, I remember somebody one time decided to go for a walk in Central Park. I walked up and I just met her, and the first words out of her mouth, I don't effing give a shit.
That's a
that was a short. That was a short walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the beginning. I mean, the potty mouth stuff. I mean that. I mean that leads to whatever. Yeah. You want to be with a woman. As far as
exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, classy woman.
Yeah. But down to earth, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Fun.
I mean, you're not talking about somebody who's dressing up in ball gown.
Yeah, exactly. That's
right. So that's kind of that's a down to earth woman that has some values.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Some values, some morals.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And since you do believe in a God of your own understanding, all right. And you don't want somebody to push religion down your throat, and you're not going to push your beliefs down your throat. You're not going to spend time knocking a religion or promoting a religion. You have to have that discussion though.
Right. I mean, that's kind of a good point. So, but the other thing is to changing. Obviously you don't want to meet somebody and say, geez, I really care about you, but you need to change. Right.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Right. So it's the same thing here. Right? It's like, you can't expect a man. You can't say, listen, you need to change part of your life for me. But at the same time, though, if you really care about somebody and it's an issue some issue is important to them.
Yep.
I don't think it's okay to change a little. I mean, you can't change who you are.
Well, you could tweak it. In other words, well, how about this? Okay. So you meet somebody, let's say you met somebody and they have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning with you so that you make your post and all of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be unrealistic. So you'd have to do a workaround there. You guys would have to figure out, especially if the person is a light sleep. If she's a light sleeper, you have to do a workaround on that, figure that one out.
Totally. Yep.
And then if you meet somebody who has kids, well, that's a whole nother equation. I mean, your kids are grown. Right. So if you meet somebody whose kids are still at home, well, not on the first date, but that will be a discussion. Something like that has to be a discussion.
Yep.
If you want to go away for a weekend and somebody, when I was divorced and we did the whole joint custody thing, every other weekend I had my kids.
Yep.
So those were the weekends that would be a challenge if you were in a relationship with somebody else. Yep. Right. In my case, but they were younger. My kids were younger, and we're talking about a younger situation with all of this stuff. But now, as people in our age, well, I think you want to have as much discussion as possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
if you want to have a short-term fun relationship, well, you could do that. Those are out there. But you understand what I'm saying? But if you're looking for somebody, if you're looking, right, you've been there, done that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a long-term committed relationship, you have to lay the foundations down with communication.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You have to, especially when there's young kids involved. Yeah. You can't get them involved and hurt them.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, we're past the fooling stage.
Yeah, I know. The other thing too is, somebody trying to give an opinion on how you should raise your children. Now, you could have discussions, or you could ask.
Yeah.
But somebody's constantly saying, "Well, you should be doing this. You should be doing that." It's like, listen.
Yeah, that's a no. That I'm not listening to. You know what I'm saying? In other words, and once again, my kids are grown up now, and your kids are grown up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all I would do is say, well, this is what worked for me, and this is what didn't work for me. I would share my experience the same way it's not that you're going to life coach somebody. You don't expect to be life coached or anything, but the bottom line is we have been around.
I said, why do you keep pushing my buttons? I said, because it's impossible to find the mute button.
That's good, Anthony.
I'm sure that would go. I'm sure that's very nice, but I'm sure that didn't go over too well.
That's why a man cave is essential.
Oh God,
a man cave is essential.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's see what boy Dougie's got to say.
What else we got?
Danny or
something. Oh, Danny.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find, but if you could find a woman that wants to join your regimen, that would be a dream. Yeah. That wants to blend in. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't think you need to have to do all the same things, like the same things. So I think it's great if they don't, they have their own interests, right?
Yeah, you want some space. I mean, you need space. Your space would be going and working with the Rangers and doing public appearances, and you'd have to find somebody that has a space. It is fun. It is fun to go to the gym together.
Yeah.
If that's this, and let them let the other person do their thing and you do yours. And if they ask you your opinion on how I do this exercise or that, well, you show them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then do your thing, work out, and then after the workout, you guys get back together and
Yeah, I think it's great. I dated a girl years ago that actually we worked out together. We met in the gym and then worked out together. And she was actually very good. Like we pushed each other. It was actually good. Like we went there to work out.
Yeah. But it's fun. I mean, it's fun to do some things together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Totally. I just don't feel like going to a pottery class.
Yeah, totally. And it is. Yeah, doing things is too, like, even if you just want to be alone, like you need to have somebody that you can have that open discussion with. Just say, I care about you a lot.
Yeah.
But I just need to have tonight by myself. And then her not worry that something else is going on. So
right.
You gotta understand.
Right. Yeah. And all that foreign intrigue, once again, I mean, who the hell wants that? I mean, right now I'm so focused on business and life, and my business is staying healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything I do is about wellness.
Yeah.
Everything, whether it's supplements, everything.
That's another thing. That's one area where, like, if you lead a healthy lifestyle, it's hard to have somebody that's not, like, that doesn't take care of themselves, right?
Oh, well, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's then you can't even get started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're there to have a relationship, not be a fitness coach.
Yeah. I know.
You know what I mean? Okay, it's time to get up.
Yeah.
Good morning. Time to get up. Let's go.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Come on. Don't eat those French fries. Seriously. But like
French fries, fried food, French.
Right. Oh, I know.
You go out with somebody and they order fried food with French fries, leap a lot of ketchup on there, and then have some.
So that's just this one time. Just this one time. Yeah.
And it's the biggest sandwich you ever saw, and they wolf it down.
Hold on 1 second. I was making a comment here. Could picture Tom with his society type of the ballet with his Ranger tracksuit and black T-shirt on. Yeah. Oh God. That's awesome. I had seen a girl for a decent amount of time, and she was really into the all the plays and all this kind of stuff. Sure. She took me to at the Met. There was a opening of a movie with Antonio Banderas in it.
Yep.
And he played this gay guy, and there's one of these foreign films where it's just open, like gayness, like he's walking around nude and everything like that.
Yes.
And they're cool. What did you bring me to, for God's sakes? Like, do you not know who I am?
That was. God. Well, when you say, "Do you not know who I am?" You're assuming that they know that you're a retired NHL hockey player.
Well, she knew that.
The guy who lives on a farm.
But she knew that, though. She knew exactly who I was.
Go ahead.
Well, we'd seen each other for a while, so she knew how I was, and she actually, she was actually pretty funny too. Because I shouldn't blame her. She did say, "Yeah, I just realized that movie got going, that this was not the right movie to bring her to." So,
God. But this brings me to another question.
Yes.
Okay, which is hard for you now, and this is coming from somebody who mentors or whatever you want to call it,
Sure.
rock and roll stars. Okay, works with, keeps them on the train tracks and all of that stuff.
Sure. Yep.
So it's hard for you to find people that don't know who you are, and it's hard to get in a relationship with a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, because let's face it, you're a human being.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So you are not perfect.
Right.
Okay. And so if they are looking at you as a hero or
Right.
you know, whatever, however they're looking at you in a fan sort of way.
Right.
Well, that's another situation. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to start something like that because you got all the adulation going and the yes and great idea and whatever you want to do, Tom, and all that crap.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, no offense, you're not a hero when you're home and you're in your underwear and you know you're brushing your teeth and shaving and whatever the hell you do.
Parting
You know?
and everything. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you want to know that is the tough thing to know. Okay, does the person love me because of me, or are they in love with the whole other?
Yeah.
Public perception. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, you know, it's interesting. You see a lot of movie stars getting married to other movie stars because,
and that's a train wreck because they both are okay. Newsflash, new movie stars.
Oh,
the majority of them have a lot of issues.
Yeah, totally.
You know, people listen, everybody's got issues, right? But movie stars have a ton of issues. So now you have two movie stars together. They got to really have their head screwed on straight because they're both offending. They want attention. Both of them want attention.
Totally. Yeah. I played softball several years ago, and after the game, the guys all went to the bar. I think they were weirded out that my wife met me at the bar. Okay, here's an interesting something. It was early in the marriage, and I loved her being there. Okay. So for me, I think, Danny, that's pretty cool. You want your wife there. But yeah, that is one of those, the guys going to the bar together is kind of a non-wife event.
Yeah, that is. That's like Friday night, the guys go out and they run into your wife and her girlfriends. Right. You know, like, really?
Hold on. Let me see.
What do you got?
Your podcast allow people to see the human being behind the hockey star. Thank you, Deb. That means a lot.
Thank you, Deb. Yep.
Yeah. You know, and I think part of it is for me too. I've realized I loved playing hockey. It was fantastic. Dream come true. Proud of myself, all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to spend the rest of my life being known as a hockey player. I want to do other things, right? It's like, I used to play, but yeah.
And you are doing other things, Tom. That's the thing. And Deb hit it spot on. And I've told that to many people that mention that they watch this podcast and make comments and you ignore them. But no, I'm only kidding. But no, on the serious side. Yeah. But you are, listen, this podcast, you are very raw. You are exposing, you know, your personality. Well, you really are. I give you credit for it. I mean, look, we started this podcast. You didn't believe in God. Now you have a God of your understanding. Yep. Okay. You had no trauma. You had no idea about trauma. Yeah. You had no empathy, realistic empathy. Yeah, sure. You felt bad. Have a glass of water and take an aspirin, and I'll talk to you later. Right. You'll be fine with the trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now you realize that there was some instances in your childhood where things happened that weren't explained. Traumatic things happened that weren't explained. Your uncle passing away in a motorcycle accident. Yeah. You're at a lacrosse tournament. I mean, that's a legit story, and you don't have to tell it on this thing. You and I could talk about how the Rangers blew the game last night and lost 3-2, and we could take 30 minutes on that and whatever else. So I give you a ton of credit. Keep doing it because you know the other thing is don't look where there isn't stuff. There's a big train of thought that you identify the trauma. Okay, you deal with it like for an hour, and then you identify it, you know, and then you keep understand it, accept it, and then keep moving forward.
Yeah, don't dwell on it. Yeah,
don't go back to it.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean. Feeling sorry for yourself, depression. Not that you do, but anybody feeling sorry for something that happened 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
Identify it, accept it. Right. Take whatever blame. It's hard for a 6-year-old to take the blame for what happened, but understand why it happened. Okay. Yeah. And in that case, number one, things like this, trauma like that, death was not explained to kids that well a lot of times. Okay. Yeah. And your folks never even thought for a second that you would be upset or that it would affect your psyche if they even knew what the psyche was back then. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So.
Yeah, I mean, until we started doing all these shows, I didn't understand all this stuff. My sons are now 32 and 29 years old. So all those formative years, I really didn't understand what we were doing.
Yeah.
Luckily, they seem like they've come out pretty good man. I'm very proud of them actually too. So,
Yeah.
but
Great
yeah,
kid.
I mean, I tell you, yeah, you're right. That has been the biggest thing for me to learn, because I really never dealt with any mental health issues with myself before at all. Talked about it about other people. So like to first of all recognize that, oh Jesus, like all the stuff that's happened, but don't feel like, yeah, I don't want to feel sorry for myself. It's like my mother was a fantastic person. She had her own mental health issues. She didn't. She was a fantastic mother in so many other ways. So,
Yeah,
and
yes,
she really, and I'll tell you, she really was responsible for making me like a guy that was tough enough mentally and physically to do the things that I did. Like when she, that time when she pulled me aside and she said, "If you let somebody do that to you again, I'm going to kick the shit out of you."
That's
like,
awesome.
that was, she was this tiny woman that I think I told the story too. We're walking down the street and these tough guys were sitting around in the corner. And it was just my mother and I, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, what's going on? I was like holding on to her hand, walking by. She just kept on marching, nothing stopped. I said, weren't you scared? We got past. I said, weren't you scared there, those guys? She said, oh, yeah, I was scared. But don't you ever let anybody see that you're scared.
Right.
So those kinds of things that she passed on,
And those are gems, though. You know what I'm saying? And my parents did similar things also. That they were gems. My father said, "Who's picking on you?" I told him. He says, "Walk up to him, punch him right in the face." He said, "I'll be nearby." It was like at a basketball practice that he was going to be at it, right? He says, "I'll get out there and I'll break it up." I said, "Just do it. He will never bother you again."
Good.
Sure enough, I went to basketball practice. The kid broke my chops. I punched him right in the nose. He started to cry. My father came over and said, "Hey, Richard, don't do that." And he says, "Are you okay?" You know what I'm saying? and the guy became a lifelong friend.
Oh, is that right? Oh, good. Yeah. Did she show you? That's cool.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, I get it. I get it.
Okay. So who do you think is coming on this show right now? Who do you think we got?
Go ahead.
Come on.
I hope it's Lorraine.
No, Alicia.
Oh, here we go.
Good morning, beautiful souls. I love the humanness of both of you. Keep it going. Yes. That is, you know what? It's amazing to use that word, humanness.
Humanness.
I didn't understand what of a cold bastard I was. Like I was I think I was a good person in so many ways, but like not opening up. And I even used just recently, we talked about the empathy thing. I was like, I've got empathy. What are you talking about? Now we're gonna maybe not.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny how many people say they have empathy until it's needed.
Right. Oh,
until it's needed.
Yeah.
I'm saying until somebody says, "I have nowhere to live. Can I stay on your couch for a while?"
Right.
Okay. Or
is that empathy though? Like letting them sleep on the couch? Isn't empathy more like you're accepting somebody else's feelings?
You understand, you can empathize with their feelings. So let's put it this way: if somebody said they were sad, or I can empathize with how you felt as a kid.
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean? The feeling when that situation happened with your uncle, I can empathize.
Right.
With
okay.
Yeah. I can empathize with somebody being homeless. Okay. Gotcha. I love to help people that are down on their luck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because guess what? I have been down on my luck, thankfully, not for too long, but I have. And there have been some great friends, okay, that I didn't even realize they were great friends, but they came, they helped me out. So I try to be that person. I try to be the person that I treat other people like I want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? So, but empathy, a lot of times people that are empaths, okay, they call them, they actually like take on so much pain, the other person's pain, that it makes them sick.
Sure.
And there's a couple of people that do it that actually had to go away to like detox their system because they take on so much of this stuff.
I got a question for you, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. Do you ever go back to any exes, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend like that, and ever have like a discussion about like more mature discussion now because you didn't have it before about what happened, a specific incident or just a general marriage? Have you done that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I have. And you know what? I did it for me initially. And this came from, and look, I have done a ton of work since 1980 and I've been involved with so much rehabs and therapy and group therapy with all of the entertainment stuff that I did that, yes. Yeah. But I've only learned that. I mean, that is invaluable if you can sit down. Okay. And it's not easy, but if you could sit down, and I think the first thing to do that I do is admit my faults.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, admit my faults in the relationship, and then that starts the discussion.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that.
Right.
And for me, I have cleared the air, with a number of people.
Good.
And so I feel, guess what? I feel great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really do. Am I proud of some of the things that happen? Absolutely not. Okay. Yeah. I'm not, I've made every mistake you could possibly make.
Sure.
But
yeah, with my second ex-wife, she was fantastic. She wanted to have a child. I obviously had made a decision after my second child that I had with my first wife that I was not going to have any more kids out of a second. So that was pretty clear that was a clear decision. But my second wife was sweetheart. She wanted to have children as we got into our marriage. And I said, listen, I obviously, it was pretty clear that, I didn't want to have kids. So, we ended up, so we went through a period of time where it got to the point where I knew she was going to have to move on and if she wanted to have children. So again, this is where I didn't understand at the time the abandonment issue comes in. So I basically shut off. We were living together still. We're still married. And she came to me in the kitchen when she finally made the decision that she was moving on, and she's bawling and crying. And I just stood there like a rock. And I felt like a total jerk even when it was happening. Yeah. But I had already gotten to the point where, okay, no, I'm not going to let myself get hurt. Again, I didn't understand this at the time, but I'd gotten to the point where I said, I'm not going to let myself get hurt. So I'm just going to shut off and there's no more feelings and that's it. So again, not even knowing that was going on. So her mother passed away a few weeks ago. So I recently just gave her a call to wish her my best. And I really didn't plan on getting into a discussion about it, but I said that all of a sudden it just blurted out of me. I said, listen, I've got to tell you some stuff about myself. And she must have been scared to death, like what it was. But I told her about the whole abandonment issue. And I specifically brought up the issue in the kitchen. I said, I'm sorry. Listen, you must have felt like terrible that you're all by yourself there crying and your husband is standing there and just not doing anything. So it was a really good conversation. And we got into some other stuff about our marriage, about how, it was hard for her to really act like herself around me because I had that Tom's way of the highway kind of mentality going on. And I didn't notice that at all. And so she told me that. It was pretty, it was a great conversation. Like there was no bitterness. There's two people that, we moved on. We've been divorced for like 12, 13 years now, whatever.
God bless.
But yeah, when we see each other, we're totally fine. There was no issues, no hatred, but it was a great conversation. Like you said, I hope I helped her in some way as well. Yeah. But it really helped myself too, to go back in a situation and deal with it. Like there's a person obviously that I love very much that I was married to. And I was like, man, I can't imagine her sitting there, like the look on her, like looking at me stone face and she's bawling crying and she's got to leave. So it was good. It was a great conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless you. Well, listen, even sharing that right now, that's a great admission, but thank God that you did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That because I can obviously see that in you, let's face it, you and I can laugh our asses off, but if we started to play in a hockey game, especially when you were a pro, well, hell, I better keep my head up because I'm going to get knocked on my rear end. Right. Yeah. So you have the ability to turn that switch and shut your normal personality. Right. Because your normal personality is you like to laugh. Okay. Yeah. You like to laugh. You like to have a good time. Couple of beers, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But then you and anybody else that plays a professional sport, you better turn the switch and you better get serious because now you're playing in a game where you could basically get killed. Very true. So yeah. But yeah, look, divorce and those scenes that anybody on this podcast who has gotten divorced, the scenes, if you're doing it face to face, okay, and you're doing that, those are scenes you'll never forget. Stuff like that, a lot of us, go ahead.
Yeah. So that it was me saying that because we really haven't, we've seen each other and cordial and all that kind of stuff. We really never sat down and had any conversations. And it was amazing her reaction because it was probably the best conversation we had at our relationship. Now we got along great, but I wasn't open to communicating. I wasn't open to talking about my feelings or anything like that.
Oh, so yeah, you must have been a real catch.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She was like, "This is unbelievable." Like when she said that to me, I could never act like myself around you because it was Tom's way of the highway.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, I know. I felt like such. I said to her, "I'm sorry." I just had I had no idea about who. There's so many other parts of me that I'm so proud of, confident and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of stuff. I think back to like, and she is a fantastic person. Yeah. So for her to feel like that, Here's a question. I'm assuming
Yep.
I would jokes around sometimes, but I'm going to take this as a serious question. Do
Hmm.
you ever cry? That's so. The bottom line is yes, I do. But what's interesting is going through all this stuff. I had grown up where in something happened to me. The incident with lacrosse when they came home and told me that my grandmother had died. I got to the point where I don't know why, but I just did not cry. I didn't try to stop crying. But let's see, full disclosure here now too. So I got inducted into the Brampton Hall of Fame. Brampton, Ontario is where I grew up.
Yep.
So I went up there to, so here I am again, never crying back when I was younger, never. It just didn't happen unless I was really small and, got hurt or something like that. So now I go up to the ceremony. My mother's dying of cancer at the time when I go to the ceremony. So I go up to the ceremony and, of course I'm thanking my parents, thanking my mother. And the floodgates open up. Here I was in front of all these people. They had no idea what was going on because what I was talking about wasn't emotional. It was just what was going on inside me. And just the floodgates open. I could not talk. I stood there and I think I can't remember. I think my sister might have been there or something. She stepped up and explained to everybody that my mother was dying of cancer. So it's and I've gotten better at it, but it was like the floodgates were locked tight. Right?
Yeah.
And then once they opened up with me,
Right.
it was like all just gone. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, listen, you got to cry. You know what? It's very cleansing this for your soul and your psyche to if you need to cry, depending on where.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, people are going to love that. You are so much more of a human being.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a human being. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's okay to be a human being.
Yeah.
Things happen. You can't hold all this inside. And you certainly can't figure everything out that happens to us in life by ourselves. You can't. And when we talk, I have something going on. You have something going on. When the two of us talk, it's spectacular stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever you talk with a friend, and you let the mask down, there's a lot of people a lot of therapists or whatever, they call it the mask. And it's true. Okay. You let the mask down. You have some great conversations.
Oh, I know. And I'll tell you what, though, like recently I've started to do that, like explain like my vulnerability and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Still scary though, man. I'm seriously, when I first started doing it, it's like, what am I doing? Like, am I doing the right thing?
Well,
but
it depends.
The reaction, it again, depends on the person, but the reaction has been fantastic too. Like the people have been like, wow, that's incredible, Thomas, you're acting like that. So,
look, yes. And it should be. And the people that don't get this, well, then they're not, I hate the term. I don't know. They're not enlightened. They're not whatever. You know what I'm saying?
They don't know what they're missing, really, right? Like,
well, then keep preaching that. That's a great answer. That's
I just got to get to this to clear up. Tom, hard question. Did you share with her that you had a vasectomy? Well, I'm a guy. I was attracted to her the first night, so she knew the first night that I had a vasectomy. She says, "You're not kissing me. You're not getting anywhere tonight." But yeah, so she knew right away that I had a vasectomy. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's funny. It's kind of funny. I think it's amazing because that's one of the reasons I liked her so much. It was a blind date. Got invited over to I know, but invited over to somebody's house, and she was hot. And I'm thinking, okay, so I plowed her through, got the wine going and everything, and going outside. The typical guy go to give her a kiss. She puts her hands up. You're not kissing me.
That's awesome. That made her more attractive to you, right? Now, yeah.
This one's a keeper.
Wow. That's.
Yeah. It's funny because then I waited for a couple of days, called her, and I said I'll take you to a movie. And I hadn't seen the movie. You ever seen the movie Bad Santa?
Oh yeah.
Every other word in that is the F-bomb.
Yeah.
And she's not like that. She's not. I mean, it wasn't awful, but we're sitting there, and she's like, one of the reasons I liked it. She's like, she wasn't the potty mouth. She was like, nice. She was a woman. So when the movie starts going with the F-bombs going, I was like, I'm sorry, this is not a good movie. She had a good sense of humor about it.
Oh my God. Now, Bad Santa, who was Santa in that? Was that which guy? Okay. Jim Carrey, Chevy Chase.
No.
Who the hell? Oh, no.
Thornton.
All right.
Billy Bob Thornton. Yes.
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
He's the one who was married to Angelina Jolie or something like that.
Yeah,
whatever the heck her name is.
How did that happen? Yeah. And they were talking about like big part of it was anal sex. Like
spectacular. Okay, let's go. We don't want to lose our sponsors. Okay, our sponsors are Ivory Liquid Soap. Okay, and wait, yes. God bless.
There's this one scene of this big woman who was a prostitute, and I guess he'd had anal sex with her. And she goes, I haven't shit right for a week.
Oh my God. That's spectacular. All right, our viewership just went like this.
Oh God, it's funny. Oh, here I am sitting there.
So you had a good time,
Oh, yeah.
and
Sit
so
there,
you end up getting married.
Yes, we ended up getting married. Yes, we lived together for a while, got married. Great girl, yeah, really good. Yeah, I haven't seen right for a week.
Oh God, Tom,
that's funny.
Oh, you are a funny guy. Yeah, I like that when you tell a joke and you remind me that it's funny. Yes, it's funny, Tom. Yeah, all three of us watching the show now are
no.
with our
The
conversation.
viewership just went up, just jumped up.
Okay,
yeah,
we want some questions now. We really need to know: are you happy in your current relationship? What's going on with that? Tom is looking.
Somebody's opening up here. Jack's open up to us.
One
of our best employees ever, Jack, retired, and we had a lunch and began to speak how much Jack meant and got emotional. I was embarrassed. Later, people came to me office say, "Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you're embarrassed when you're doing it, but it's really does show that like people like your emotions, like it's not a fake thing. It's something that you can't. Well, maybe some people could fake crying, but most people can't. So yeah."
How many Smiths are following you? Because it seems like this guy has like alter egos. You got a Jack Smith, you got a Mike Smith, there's a lot of Smiths. This is like the Smith family, the whole family you've adopted.
We got a G and Tempo too here.
Oh, okay, so Pete, no, stop a second, okay? And I don't want to hear any disparaging remarks about my hero.
I was just going to say that's a life-size picture.
Listen to me. Stop. It's an honor that he's even on the podcast, okay? Right. You got to understand, all right? If you're going to put up with all the Smiths that are texting and making comments all across our platforms here, okay? Got to listen to Peachy and Tempo. Pete, I need to talk to you. It's desperate. Now, let me see. Oh, we've had, yes. Yeah. Pete and I have had some very good, spectacular conversations.
Pete can talk more than Rich can. So you can imagine that conversation. That probably went on for like 24 hours or something, that conversation.
But it is about life and death stuff. He as we all know, he was a decorated undercover narcotics detective. Okay, right. Tom? That is not easy. He is in there all with some real bad hombres, as Trump would say, you know what I mean? And he made it unscathed. And on the serious side, I would say a ton of retired police officers are committing suicide. Yeah, okay. Because they feel like they've missed out on, and this is a men's issue. Okay. Guys that are in the locker room. Okay. Yeah. When you have that bond inner locker room. Okay. Yeah. And the ability to putz around. What 35-year-old guy, okay, you know, how can you still screw around like when you were kids? It's in a locker room, right? Or on the golf course, okay, or in men's league hockey or men's league sports, okay, and even police officers that have that bond, the detective squads and the things that Pete and his brothers did, okay, working. When that's gone, what the hell do you do? Sit on a couch?
No, totally. Yeah.
And I'll share something with you now. You've been sharing a lot. But the epiphany to me, which has happened in the last 48 hours, believe it or not, is I've really been going back and looking at my relationships, okay, and thinking about them, and you know, both business relationships and every kind of relationship. And for me, okay, the bottom line is when I stopped touring, when I went off a tour, we would go out for 9 months and we would go around the world and play, you know, concerts at all these cities, and then I would go home. And I would have to go to the grocery store and buy eggs and milk. And no one knew anything about me. No one said, "Oh, could I get tickets? Could I get a T-shirt?" In other words, I was just a normal person. Okay. It was crazy. It was uncomfortable. And then to be married and then have the same thing every day for the next, 6 months or sometimes when 8 months, where it's just that same 9 to 5 and the routine. That was crazy. That was very tough to get used to. Let's say, call it normal life.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? So that was it must have been, it was hard to be me, the new me. Sure. Okay. Mild-mannered Clark Kent me. And it must have been hard to be around me because I just was not used to sitting on the couch and watching a movie that I didn't want to watch and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you know what? That's an interesting point about you. So for me, when I retired from the Kings, where I was traded to, I was lucky. I say I was lucky because we didn't make much money. So I couldn't sit around. I had to get to work. I had to get my agent business started. So I actually got busier. I was doing broadcasting for the San Jose Sharks, and I was starting my agent business. So I was gone all the time, and it was great. It was because I realized, like, you see a lot of these guys now when they retire, they've made so much money, they really don't have to work.
Right.
So they're sitting around the house and they're going miserable, just like you said. They go from being a National Hockey League player to now being a guy taking the kids to school. I won't use his name, but I did a charity event with another player that just recently retired. And he was talking about that. Like, he's like, so he gets up in the morning, gets the kids, and his wife will go later on in the day. She'll go do her thing that she's used to doing.
Yeah.
And he's sitting by himself. And he actually was pretty funny because he said to his wife as she was walking out the door, he says, "What am I going to do?"
Yeah.
She could have laughed at him, like, figured it out. Yeah. It is tough. Yeah. Like, it's,
but I'm talking about that is increasing the male depression and the suicide rate. Yeah. I mean, there are guys that are off, they're killing themselves because they have no purpose. They have no routine,
totally.
And so they have to get into a routine.
Right. That's a lot of military personnel, right? They say there's an average of 22 military people every day. That,
Mission veterans. 22. Yeah. Mission 22 is about reducing the number of veteran suicides because it's 22.
Right. He said veteran, guys. Veteran. Just I'll translate for you.
Oh, yes. Veteran people, because there are males and females. Thank you. Okay. So the veterans are unfortunately 22 of them kill themselves each day. And that's unacceptable. And any kind of suicide is unacceptable. But yet it still continues to happen. We need more attention on suicide, but we also need some attention on marriages and trying to keep, I'm talking about from a government perspective, from an aid perspective. I think that we have to, instead of all this division and instead of all of this pointing fingers, we have to really teach people how to, if they're going to get married, how to stay married, because there's a lot of benefits for the children and the future of the world if you stay married, right? Well, but if you choose to get divorced, and then I'll keep quiet. Yeah. But if you choose to get divorced, you have to put aside every bit of BS. And the two people, when you get divorced, you don't just get rid of the person; they stay. Okay, it's like a canker sore. Okay, they stay. All right, but you two better. Instead of breaking each other's chops, you better be focused on the prize. The Stanley Cup in life is raising your kids in a healthy way. This parental alienation doesn't work.
I know. I saw Denzel Washington make a great speech, and he was talking about race and number of Black people that are in prisons and everything. And he's from Mount Vernon, as you probably know, kind of a tough area. And he talked about he had two buddies that he grew up with, and that as they started getting older, they started getting into trouble. But Denzel had a father in his home who made sure that trouble stopped. Right, the father stepped in. The other two young boys did not have fathers in the home. They ended up in jail. I think he said they're in prison for life now. And he used that as an example where it's not about the race; it's about the fathers being in the home. And you're right. Yeah, it's like I recently met a woman, gotten divorced, had a little boy, and to her credit, like they, obviously they didn't love each other anymore. They didn't want to be with each other, but the two of them, the father and the mother, really put the son first. And he's grown up to be a fantastic young man, loving. He's known as this guy that's going around, hugging people all the time, and he's this great kid. So you're right. Yeah. But when you see people, I just don't get it. Like the bitterness towards each other. That's the one good thing. My first wife and I, and to her credit as well, we both went to child counselor. Brilliant. We went ourselves. We didn't bring the kids. We went to say, okay, how do we do this the right way? Right. And to her, so the big thing was to not badmouth each other. And it was good. My boys are fantastic now.
Yeah, they're great guys. And yeah, I was lucky also. I had a guy named Dr. Robert Barbo, and he was spectacular. And he gave me all the insights. And you know what, Tom? It was as simple as I should learn how to cook. So that when I have my kids, I cook. Okay. And you stay in a family environment.
Yes.
Life is not going to TGIFs.
Yes.
Or wherever, or the Waldorf Astoria.
That's amazing you say that. That was a big thing for me too. And I could not cook at first. It was great. It was actually good. Yeah. It was actually good that I couldn't cook because my boys and I, I'm sure your boys, we'd sit there and watch Emerald and all these cooking shows.
Yes.
And it was a bonding thing. We sat there together and then we experiment, we'd make mistakes, we'd laugh about it.
Yeah. That's cool. My kids both cook. I cook.
Yeah.
My kids both cook. You know
Cool.
what I mean? And the little guy, listen, he's 29.
Yeah.
And Nick, my son, is spectacular.
Yeah.
He's a spectacular cook.
That's cool.
He's
That is
really
cool.
good, you know. So yeah.
Very cool.
So, but you got to simple things.
Yeah. Susan making a comment here is pretty interesting. Yeah. Bill Bradley admitted after he heard about Willis Reed passing away that he had sat down and cried. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? We do. You're right. It's like, it's almost important to cry. I learned that because I said I had got it locked down when I was younger where I don't know where the tears went. There was obviously there, but they were locked down.
Right.
And like I said, once they'd opened up though, man, that was a mess. I just gone. Yeah.
So, but did the tears go towards, you know, if somebody holds in tears, if I hold in tears as a kid, my fist would clench up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the way I was able to, even to this day, if I'm jammed up, first of all, if I have to cry, I cry.
Right.
Okay. And there's, you know, there's definitely a couple things I could cry about. But what I'm saying is if I get frustrated, you know, if I get frustrated, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Exercise for me, playing sports and exercise was always a way to relieve the stress, the anxiety, the depression I might have been having as a kid, because I grew up, I had a chaotic childhood, not as bad as others though. But anyway, I would exercise and I would play sports, and that was like my escape, let's say.
Yeah, I don't know with me. I think I remember just like I remember vividly when they came home and told me that my grandmother had passed away. And I was sitting on a brown couch, not kind of family room, and my both parents walked in, and we knew that she was, you know, she was ill. She was in the hospital, obviously, so it wasn't a surprise. It was just that was it. And man, it's the weirdest feeling. I had feelings. I loved her to death. She was fantastic, but there's no. I think there's more confusion. Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And then when they all went down to my sister's room and started crying together in her room, and I'm sitting there by myself, I'm like, okay, I guess this is just the way it's supposed to be. You know, I'd gotten into this. I think they viewed me a certain way, and I viewed myself a certain way that I just didn't cry. So I think they felt like, okay, he's fine. This is the way he handles it.
He's fine.
So they can go down the other. Yeah. So and I remember sitting there going, seriously, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And it was the weirdest feeling.
Oh,
like, So, but like I said, though, then when I went to get inducted into the Hall of Fame there, man, I remember feeling like this is like, I didn't feel it coming. I wasn't upset going into the speech. It was when I mentioned my mother in the speech and she was dying of cancer. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah. But that is the spectacular part of your speech, is that you showed that you were human and you were able to grieve publicly. I mean, for an example, just as a reference or an example, the Tom Brady, I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's in my mind, it's spectacular. So Tom Brady's doing the presser. He's doing the presser at the Super Bowl. You know, he's sitting there. It's press day, Super Bowl.
Is that the little boy?
The little boy asks him, "Who is your hero? Who was your hero growing up?" And guess what? He started to cry. Tom Brady, God bless him.
It was very good. He paused for a second and he thought about it. Yeah.
Well, he thought about it, and he probably was trying to like center himself. Right. And then he just said, screw it. And he started to bawl. And that's when everybody just, went crazy.
Yeah.
Now, this is the other Smith. This is Jack Smith now.
This is Jack Smith. Yeah.
And who was the other Smith? His brother?
I thought that was it John? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. John, Jack, there's Frank.
So we did. So this was a great interview. This Full Change. So Clint Malarchuk, it hasn't gotten that really high numbers because it's really a deep, almost dark interview. Like he gets into, like I asked him in the interview, thank you for putting out there, Jack. I asked him in the interview, I said, so when he was down on the ice and it cut his throat, I said, what were you thinking then? And he could tell he'd been asked that before, obviously. He goes, death. And he said it was like, like, wow. It was like he paused for a second. And I guess his mother was, did we talk about this? I can't remember.
No, but go ahead, because it's a fascinating story. It's Clint,
So anybody doesn't know, he was playing a game for the Buffalo Sabres in the 80s and mid 80s and got hit in the throat with a skate, and it just cut your jugular, I guess it is.
Yeah. Yes.
And so he was bleeding out on the ice. It was a gruesome sight. You should not go look it up on YouTube.
Don't look at it.
Yeah, you can't unsee this kind of thing. And again, his mother was watching at home. He knew his mother was watching at home. So he talked about the feelings, like he thought he was going to die. Plus his mother, how much he loved his mother. She was sitting there at home watching her son die on TV. So ultimately, obviously, he did not die. And he's gone on, like he's had his own mental health issues as well. And
Yes.
he talked about trying to commit suicide, put a gun to underneath his chin. And he was funny joking around. So I felt comfortable that I could do this.
Yes.
But he shot himself, and the bullet, it didn't even knock him out or anything. The bullet got lodged in his brain.
Amazing.
And so I said to him during the interview, and I'm sitting there thinking, should I say this or should I not say it? And
Go
I said,
ahead.
okay, I'll say it. I said, good. I said, good thing you're a bad shot, for God's sakes.
Yeah, right. He's a bad shot. Yeah.
Yeah, he was dying laughing. He was pretty funny about it. But it's a great story. He's doing a lot of things to help other people now. He's constantly has to deal with his mental health issues, but he's really a powerful story. Like talking about all the mental health stuff. He's done a lot of speaking, so he's a good speaker as well. So
yeah, I mean, he definitely is that, and it's a very uplifting story, really. If when you listen to the whole thing, the fact that he survived so many things. Totally. And mental health, you know what? It's the same thing like taking a shower, and you probably heard this already. Just because you work on mental health, just because you take one shower doesn't mean you have to. You're done taking showers. You got to do it every day. Mental health, you got to work on mental health every day.
Speaking of mental health, is Trump getting arrested today?
Well, today is Wednesday. He was supposed to get arrested on Tuesday.
Was it okay?
He was but that he could get arrested at any time. He was deposed, and he has a statement that they released where he basically called out whoever the attorney general is. But these are some dark political times, I think, in our country. No matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, I think that the whole key here is unity. If you cut through all the crap, we have to unite as a country, man.
But listen, I agree with you totally.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen in this current system.
Well,
there's no benefit to it. Actually hurts the politicians if we all come together. Because if we all come together, we're going to say, okay, guys, this getting paid on like coming in to be a politician and leaving being a billionaire. It's just these things have to stop. Like special interest groups, lobbyists. It's if you really got to get together. That's why I think. I want it to change, just like you, and I agree 100%. But how is it going to change? Like, what is going to happen for it to change?
I think that people have to. I think then people have to cause their own band together and cause some kind of a not a revolution. Now this isn't going to be Cuba or something like that. But we have to speak up more as a group of people, but intelligently. This isn't about storming.
Speak up about patriotism and for the country, not speak up about a Republican or Democrat. That's the issue. Speak up. Yeah, there's so much divisiveness now. It isn't talking about what's right for the country. It's talking about what's right for a party.
There is on a global level, there is this division. Okay, globally, everywhere there's division. Okay, so we are in America, so we have to deal with America, which is a good point. We have to deal with America. We have to clean up our country, and then we could help others. You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%. But nothing's going. I don't see what's going to change to get. And I want it to be like that, and I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But what is going to change? Like the people that are making up the rules are the ones that are benefiting from this division. Right? Yes, the politicians. Right? Sure. So why would they change? Why would the politicians change anything?
Well, all we have is a vote. So look, it's the same. It's the same way on a small level that supposedly the Calgary Flames, a number of players have banded together and said they're going to boycott if they keep the current coach. You know what I'm saying? Really? Oh yeah. Right now, I didn't know that. Just happened. That just happened within the last, 48 hours maybe. And I don't know enough about it, but when I heard it, I said, wow. I mean, that's Sutter too. Yeah. Wow. They think he's abusive. They think he's this, they think he's that. And supposedly that's a thing. Yeah. And so, but the bottom line is getting back to the country. Okay. This comes back to, we have lost the foundation. We have allowed marriages now and our children, the way we are raising our children, we've let some core values fall to the wayside. Okay. So there's an erosion there. As far as the politicians go, how can we as people, deal with the Hunter Biden BS? And yes, Trump has BS. Everybody, all of them have BS, but just imagine if we had a laptop that had pictures of us selling crack and being with hookers, like that's going to blow you out of the water. Right. Why don't we do something with that? Some of the stuff that they're accusing Trump of. I mean, is it real? Is it phony?
But don't you think, though, looking back, this isn't something new. It's just something that's more in our face. Like politicians have always looked at the Kennedys, with that, Chappaquiddick, he killed a woman, got away with it. He goes on and has a political career. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, I think it's, and that just makes it right. It doesn't make it any better. It's just that we see more of it now.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is that because social media and all of the technology really, you could
Yes.
find out anything about these politicians, and people are doing that, and the media is doing that.
Right.
But you can't even, I feel, this is just me talking, I feel I can't even trust the media, because if I tell you what, whether it's CNN or Fox News or whatever, I feel the best way to get an unbiased thing is to watch the news from a foreign country about the United States.
Or else turn the TV off altogether and
Well,
get online and do your own research.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing about that. Yeah.
What? Wait, go ahead.
No. I mean, yes, turn the TV off. So if you turn the TV off, what happens? I'll tell you personally, what happens for me is I don't know it's daylight savings time. I don't know. Not that I would celebrate it, but I don't know when St. Patty's Day is. In other words,
Yes, you
no,
do.
listen,
Sure.
it's when everybody is drunk in the streets, and I say, well,
Right.
what kind of party's going on? Oh, it's St. Patty's Day. But no, on the serious side, I really, that's how off the grid I am.
Good.
As far
I
as
think it's
that
fantastic.
goes. Well,
Thoroughly-
it's a little too ignorant at times,
Oh,
blissfully.
why? What are you missing? What are you missing?
So
if you
I
don't
think
know,
that-
I know you're joking. I know you're joking around, but if you don't know it's St. Patty's Day, how does that change your life?
Well, it didn't. It didn't. But daylight savings time affected me a little bit because I was.
Why? Why?
Because it's my routine of waking up at a certain time, and I know
but
where the sun is and everything, and I'm
but
back
most
to
of the-
normal now. But
Right, but most of the clocks in the house changed automatic, so you don't have to change the clocks.
so, but unfortunately, I stared at the ones that don't, which is like
But
the microwave.
you not watching the TV doesn't change daylight savings time.
No, I would have been aware of it though. I would have seen it in one of the sidebars after I go through the minutia of what Trump and Biden are doing. You know what I'm saying?
So you would have been aware of it, but what would you have done about it?
It would have been nice to know. I would have planned my day the next day a little bit differently.
Why?
Because I have a routine, like you have a routine. If you didn't know it was daylight savings time,
get up and do the routine. It's the same thing. Nothing changed.
I did, but it's just the times were off. That's all. It's not a big look. If you missed your 3:53 post because it was 4:53, you would have said, "Geez, what would you have? How would have that felt?"
My phone is my alarm clock. It's right beside my bed. It changes automatically. Daylight savings time.
Do you turn it on Do Not Disturb at night?
No, God no.
That's because you sleep alone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. So you have a certain you listen. You are indestructible. Okay, you are robot.
Because I don't watch TV. Let's go back to that subject seriously. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have. People getting the opinions of somebody else.
100%.
Right, because you see all the news. This is what everybody's talking about. Well, I'm not talking about it. So how can the USA Today? I see that they have this thing in the front page all the time. I go online, I read it, and go, this is what everybody's talking about now.
Not me.
Yeah, that's not.
When was the last time you identified with what USA Today said that everybody's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I just scan through it. Say, okay, what are the headlines now? I'll do my own homework. Nobody's going to tell me what I'm supposed to be thinking about. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is no, I don't do that. So I mean, I really don't read the papers. I don't read the papers. The news, maybe once in a while. Most of my stuff comes from YouTube. I watch YouTube religiously and
Gaia TV.
Well, I do. I listen. I watch Gaia TV. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's the important thing, though, too. You're right. On YouTube, get a bunch of different opinions. Just don't watch. Now, you have some people that you trust more that you like, but again, just don't go by it because somebody says so. Like whether there's so many things. I saw a great video the other day, and the guy was talking about how he was giving a speech about how we have a kind of backwards. So we work so much until we're 65 years old, and then we retire. And he made the comment then at 65 years old, you can't do anything because your body stops working.
True.
So what?
True. The majority of the people, not us, not me and you.
My point is, though, no, the body doesn't stop working. You stop using your body. The people that, you stop. Those people that stop using your body, yes, their body will stop working because you're not using it. But that's got nothing to do with 65 years old. That could be at 55 or 50 or 45.
Yes.
Yes, as you're younger, you don't have to exercise maybe as much. But so that's they were playing this speech like this was verbatim. This is the way the world is. I said, no, it isn't that way. Right. I'll be 65 next month. My body hasn't stopped working. I'm going to get it better every day. I'm working out more now than I've ever worked out. So
let me give you a little news flash. Okay. not everybody does what we do. Okay.
True,
Now,
but
if you,
they can't.
but
They
more
can't.
people, okay. So here's the deal though, but more people should do what we do because we feel pretty good. Actually, I feel
Yeah.
great and I'm not going to
Yeah.
apologize about it, but I work at it. And that's where we can make change in the world by talking about
that's true.
what
Yeah.
we do. Okay.
Oh, that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? And that's why I have my routine. It doesn't interfere with
Right.
anybody.
But I guess my
I'm not,
concern is when people of influence make speeches like that.
yeah.
I can't remember who it was. When people of influence make speeches like that and say those kinds of things, that at 65 your body stops working, it concerns me because that is not true.
Yeah.
It will if you don't use it.
Yeah.
But if you're working at it, then
So then you know what? Go on your platform. Okay.
That's
Go
what
on
we do.
Instagram, go on TikTok, go on this podcast, and we talk about what we do. All right. And for me, I'll tell you right now that, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in the gym and I'm beating the crap out of myself. Okay.
Sure.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'm in recovery. Okay. And I'm doing cryotherapy. I'm doing infrared sauna. I'm doing red light therapy, and I'm doing the Normatec compression boots. Sunday is theoretically a day off, but invariably I am going all over the place on Sunday. And that's just my fitness routine. And then I have my work routine too. So,
Sure.
and you're the same way.
yeah. Totally.
So
It's
and,
you know what it
and-
is. I think the big word there is discipline too, right? It's
Yeah.
like have your process, stick to your process. I saw Derek Jeter got interviewed recently,
Yep.
and he talked about his success. He said, and he used the word. He said discipline. I did. I mean, he said process, but anyway, it was for 20 years. I did the same thing, and everybody talks about his batting routine. You know how he'd take the glove off and hope it. And it was the same.
Yep.
Yeah, he said once I got my process, it didn't matter if I was successful or not. I stuck with my process, and I think that's the same thing. Having your process, not Rich Caberti's process, not Tom Laidlaw's process, but have your process. You're right. Mine's every day, 3:30. It's gotten to the point where it's just if I don't go out there and do that 3:53 video. Like it's funny sometimes, you know, because I'm out there. I make sure I get there, but there's sometimes maybe I lose track of time or whatever. And all of a sudden, it's 3:51 and I haven't got my boots on yet, or that I'm in panic mode. I've gone out there barefoot a couple of times because I didn't want to miss the 3:53.
Yeah, it's
which
awesome.
I love. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Listen, it's awesome, and there are people that look forward to it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and that's all that matters. Look, the stuff that I do to better myself, and then I share it. And Tom, I have people come to Florida and they hang out just to hang out with me and do my routine.
And they want to talk like you is what it is. They want to.
Well, no, but listen, they
want to abuse they want to abuse the English language like you do. That's what.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh yes. Another person reminded me of that. That's okay. Eh? Oh yeah. Eh? Forget about it. Have some pasta. Come on down. Let's have some pasta.
You know, it's funny. The guy that does the podcast with me, pasta. The guy that does the podcast with me, Tom Smith. His kids got kids, and so they listen to the podcast. And one daughter helps actually edits the podcast. Nice. And so now she's heard my voice a few times, so she imitates me. You'll get her on the phone and go, "Oh, hey, get out, eh? Or good day. We're gonna have a good day."
That's awesome. Have a good day. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Canadians always say sorry too. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pardon. How about pardon? Right. Pardon.
The old joke is too that Canadians try to be so polite all the time. So if you're driving a car, if 4 cars get to a 4-way stop at the same time, they'd be sitting there for days because they always, no, you go.
Hilarious. I'll tell you what, the Canadians that are down here are fantastic. They're great people. They start drinking about 11, but not to intoxication though. It's like a sip. It's like sipping. Yeah. They sip, they drink, they read a book. They're fantastic, great, fun people. Yeah. I am surrounded by so many retired NHL guys. It's ridiculous. Everybody I meet played in the NHL, whether it's McGill or this one or that one. Like, it's hilarious.
What do they drink? The rum and cokes? The rum and coke's a big thing in Canada too.
You know what? They don't really divulge, but it's always in a coffee, like one of those coffee cup deals. Oh, yeah. They walk around with coffee cups or the thermos, a little thermos. Yeah, but it's something.
Oh God, that reminds me because when I get voted off Survivor, I don't know if you know it's on Survivor or not.
We're season 39.
Yeah, we're in Ponderosa at the base camp, and they give us these water bottles. So I'm walking around. I'm getting the bartender to fill them up with vodka grapefruit juice or whatever it was. And they all thought that I was hydrating all day long, and I said. Because it was a vacation for me. We're sitting there on an island, you know, nothing to do, just sit around all day long.
This is after you somehow they made the mistake of ending your extinguished your flames, right?
Yeah.
No one can really do that
Yeah.
because you're Tom Brady.
Ah.
Don't you forget
Wow,
that.
this is quite a show today. We had a spirited show today. It was spirited the way I described the show. Spirited.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
We're reaching new heights.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, do you see what's behind me?
What is that?
See those?
It's a bridge of some sort or walkway.
Yeah, but I mean the two pictures there, those two plaques.
No, I don't see them.
No, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
What's that from?
That's two of my platinum albums with Aerosmith. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were there, Aerosmith. That's right.
Yeah. And look, you see this side? Look at that side. Those are two more.
Very cool.
Get a grip and pump.
So I haven't met this gentleman yet. There, Mark Putvink, that I do know the show with. He has.
Yes.
So this Kelly Ricketts, I guess, lives up in northern British Columbia or something like that, out in the woods.
Yep.
And we're always working on it. I'm soon to be 48 and feel I'm still pretty good shape. I have had 40-year-old drop off the kids at gyms. When I asked why they train the kids, they invariably say, I am too old to be able to do that. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a pet peeve of mine. Like I never use the words, and I highly recommend it. Pretty good for an old guy. Don't ever use those words. Like I know you're the same way. I've just learned more and more, like the things we say about ourselves, the thoughts we have about ourselves really can affect you positively and negatively. Like, don't tell yourself that you can't do it. Say, okay, I get to me, I'm in a mission now to post a lot more videos of me being in the gym because I'm on a mission now and I want to push it to another level. I don't want to, I'm turning 65 next month, and I thought about that, and I saw that video the other day, and I was thinking, no, I'm not giving in at 65 years old. I'm going to get better. So
yeah, I don't even think how old you are. Age is just a number, and you are, my grandfather taught me, you are as old as you feel.
Yeah.
So feel young. Right.
Yeah, make yourself feel young. Put young thoughts. Be around younger people. Well, it's not necessarily being around younger people, but don't be around like the old, sitting around like people complaining all the time. And
you want to eliminate the negativity, that the pity potty stuff, sitting there going, "Oh, this hurts, that hurts, this hurts." You know what I'm saying?
The whining and complaining about everything.
For guys, sitting around complaining about their wives or their girlfriends, that's a lot of crap, man. I can't find a girl, whatever the story is. You know what? You can't. Here's maybe this is how it works for me. Whatever. I'm going to share positive. It's much easier to share positive. I don't even want to discuss negative stuff. I'm here to listen and help, but you're going to get my opinion. If you come to me with a bag of woes, I'm going to give you my opinion about it.
I know. God. Or else, it's like if somebody starts getting negative, I say to them, come on, let's not be negative. Let's be positive. I have had friends like that. They get on the phone and they just want to complain all the time. And it's like, okay, listen, let's not complain today. And they say, yeah, you're right. And then 5 minutes later, they're complaining again. Okay.
Yeah. But really, look, I mean, a lot of the guys that are your friends or retired, let's put it this way, retired guys, they're sitting around doing nothing. Get up, learn a new skill, do something, whatever it is. You got to keep your mind engaged besides the crossword puzzles. Yes, crossword puzzles are a lot of fun, but do something that's going to better yourself. Yeah. What is this?
In Spanish, they call people over 65 as the third age people. Oh, that's interesting. So it's the third age. So your third stage of your life. Is that the theory?
Okay. Third age. That's good. It probably translates better if you speak Spanish. Okay. But thank you. Oye, ¿cómo va? Alicia.
I heard Duguay on a podcast, and he says at 65, I won't date anyone under 35. He's what a sacrifice.
That's good. Yeah. He is a piece of work. Dukes is a piece of work. God bless him. And that's the story with that.
Very good.
Yeah, he's the best.
Let me see here. What else we got here?
We're cleaning up house here.
Pete, the little guy. If at 55, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of us. Listen to you both. That's what I'm doing now after being through hell and back. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Yeah, and you know what? There's a thing. It doesn't matter when you start. Like if you're at 65 and you haven't taken care of yourself, that doesn't mean you can't start taking care of yourself now.
Yeah, start today.
Right? There's no limits. Like all these artificial limitations that are put on things. Don't listen to people like that. They say, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Your body's going to fall apart." That's not true at all.
It's the don'ts. It's the don'ts, the can'ts, and the naysayers. Ignore them. Screw that.
Yes. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. It's a good point. Don't use those words.
No.
Right? Don't use can't. Don't use. Whining and complaining generally. Tell yourself all the good things. I can do anything. I haven't done it yet, but I will get it done. Yes.
Positive thoughts bring positive results. I don't care. I really
absolutely
don't care what people think about that. That works. It works. And anybody reach out to either Tom or myself. Okay. There's a couple of things that We'll point you in the right direction if you have suicidal thoughts. Okay, we will point you in the right direction. But other than that, you want to know what we eat, our routines, what supplements we take, what kind of amino acids, all right, what kind of exercise regimen we do. We'll give you some input on it. Real simple.
Well, I know, like I was in Costco. Saw one of my buddies there working at the bottom of the escalator, the Portchester Costco.
Yep.
And I see him all the time. And he goes, "Let me ask you something. How old are you?" And I go, 65. He goes, "No way. You're not." Oh, I'm not yet. About 65 next month. And he started talking to me about it. I said, "Listen, this is all in your control. I mean, I never thought about this stuff before, but I wanted to take care of my body. My skin on my body is my largest organ on my body, so I take care of my skin. It's the foods I eat, the cold showers, all that, all this stuff."
Yeah,
and
tell the people you're not. You're talking to a million people.
But I mean, like I've learned to use like sea moss. I put that in my smoothies. Avocados. As a guy, I was going to moisturize. Before you moisturize, you make sure you drink enough water. All this thing, cold showers, all this stuff. And if you want to look younger, you can control all that. You don't have to be getting. Yes, my hair's falling out, but even that, if I leave my hair the way it, like if I don't shave it off, I feel like I look much younger when I do shave my head. So
listen, you're just fine. You look like an in shape guy. That's simple as that.
Well, kind of a stud too, right? I mean, when you say stud, would you use
that? It's another guy. I'm not going to call you a stud, but I'm sure there's plenty of women that will, and that's their situation. but you're a good dude. What am I going to tell you? Just like Pete. Pete is in shape. He's being humble.
Yeah.
Where's my chicken? Go ahead.
Where's my chicken?
I have my glasses on. Does that choke my chicken? What? Where's my chicken?
Stop. She talked about the comments I made before. It choked my chicken.
Well, that's a much cleaner one. Go ahead.
I haven't shit
right
for a week.
65 is.
I haven't shit right for a week.
Put on the fourth line.
Oh.
How about don't worry about that.
What is wrong with
no.
Get out of here.
And occasionally not dressing on game day.
Not true.
We're killing it. Look at VC. Was VC on the fourth line because that guy passed him? He passed him like it's somebody with an easy pass, right?
What is
Billy last night?
Tommy.
Oh, look where this guy is. Where's this guy been?
He's been there. I just avoided him. Tom uses whale semen misused.
Uses whale.
He got excited, so he couldn't finish the sentence. He pushed the send button before Tom uses whale semen. Misused shampoo.
Wow.
Okay, Tom uses whale semen.
Hey, look who can't type English now. See, I can't speak it. He can't type it.
Right. That's the guy with the fake last name.
My God, contradiction. Billy contradiction.
Here's a good guy too. So I see Nicky Patillo. So Jack sees Nicky at the games all the time, and this is very true. Nicky keeps himself in shape, gets to the gym at 7 a.m. Nicky, I was making fun of Nicky.
Good Staten Island guy.
Yeah, we're sitting there at a golf tournament. We're having dinner after. He just randomly says, "I'll be at the gym tomorrow at 7 o'clock." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be coming home. I'll be coming home at 7 o'clock in the morning." I've burned 1,000 calories. I've got it down now. I've got to use my FitPal, and I've got it down where I burn 1,000 calories before 7 a.m. So I'm pretty proud of myself. That's
1,000 before 7 a.m. That's really good.
Yes. Yeah. So my workout, again, it's not an exact science, but I punch all my exercises, all the reps and weights and everything into my FitPal, and that spits out an estimate of what your burning calories.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's most workouts I have are like 900 calories, and then depends on how long the walk is, but it's anywhere from 100 to 200 calories. So.
No, that's good. So how long in the gym? And this is it's late in the podcast, but how long in the gym do you spend with the weights? Because I know you're not dallying around there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I recommend to people I'm in there like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. But I love the gym. Like I really enjoy it. Yeah. Right. I think it's like I'm almost like, oh God, I'm out of time. I've done that schedule. That's not always the best thing for people. Like most people get, especially if you're getting started, like 45 minutes should be enough. To me, it's more the mental thing. Like if you're really not a gym rat, like you don't love the gym, then you shouldn't stay too long, because then you're going to hate it more, right? And you're not going to do it as much. But go ahead. No.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I try to do every exercise I do 5 sets of 12 reps. So I'd like to get at least 8 exercises in, hopefully 10. And again, I should do, and I come and go with it. I should do more aerobic stuff. I do a lot of those HIIT programs, a high intensity interval training, which gets your heart rate going up and down, which are good for you. But that's why I've been fired up lately with the videos. There's this one woman, I must admit, very attractive young woman. She's married to a veteran and a whole bit. So that's how I kind of got attracted to him. but she does these fantastic videos, like all like this
Oh,
special
workout
effects.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah, special effects. She's got a little bit of an attitude too. Like she turns and looks in the mirror. So I think she's one of those fitness models, whatever.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. But I like her videos. Again, I'm not being like perverted. She's
No, I know what you're
very,
saying.
yeah, but it's very, very.
It's motivating.
Yeah, the music she puts to it and everything. So that's kind of inspired me a little bit more with my videos to try to dress them up a little bit. So yeah.
And I've listen, but why not? You know what I'm saying? Because they're motivating. I get when I want to get motivated to go to the gym, I watch Mike O'Hearn. Mike O'Hearn. He's like been on 500 fitness covers. He's 50 something years old. He is 6'2", and when he's in the off season and he bulks up, he's close to 300 pounds, and then he cuts down to 285.
Right.
And he has muscle upon muscle. He explains how he does it. He shows you the supplements that he uses and everything.
Right.
But, he motivates the hell out of me. And then there are some women because I'm on the educational committee of the International Federation of Bodybuilders, which they get tested and it's not a steroids haven anyway. But there are some women that dressed do some great motivational videos. So even some of them, some great uses of the machines that I have in the gym that I never even thought of. And,
I like women that do powerlifting too. Like, like a fit woman who does power. I think myself, what inspires me about it is the training that she must have done to get that. And a man has to too, but typically it's the men that are doing the powerlifting. So I get on reels on Instagram. Yeah. Just go around on that. I do that before I go to the gym in the morning to kind of get my mind all fired up. And there's some fantastic stuff there. Yeah.
What I'll do on YouTube early in the morning, there are some mornings I want to motivate myself. So on YouTube, there are some great motivational videos that they splice. They splice various speakers, including Denzel and Washington. And it really gets me going. You know what I mean? And it's all about get up, get out, keep moving. Okay.
Same thing. I do it on Spotify, but it's the same thing. Spotify's got the same thing. They put like speeches with music to it and everything. There's this guy by the name of Eric Thomas. He's really good at it.
I know he is. Yep.
And then you got Jocko and David Coggins and all those guys.
Yeah,
that is good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I just motivate the hell out of myself, and but listen, if somebody wants to know, contact us. Well, I'll give you as much information as I have, more than you want to listen to or see.
Yeah. Maybe we should just do more of that too in a show, like talk about our workout programs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. I'm going to put a couple of videos together, and it works because I did a circuit of 8 exercise machines. Okay. And I did 2 sets. I went around twice. I did 2 sets of 16 on a heavyweight, and I banged that out in like 28 minutes.
Oh, good.
And I never stopped. I just kept going like an animal, and kept going. And I was a good workout.
Those are good. That kind of stuff. And you can change. There's all different methods of doing it. Everybody's got different opinions, and they're all listen. If you're in the gym working out, you're in the gym working out. So
that's number one. And number two, muscle confusion works. So we've been working out probably 45 years now. The normal bicep routine. Yes, do that once a week, but then the other stuff, change it up. You got to change your routine because you
there's
need
all kinds of stuff
confusion.
like there's West Side Barbell and there's all different splits you can have and all that kind of stuff. So,
exactly.
I think so we're going to start doing more of that. We'll spend a few minutes each day.
Great idea.
Very cool.
Great.
That was my idea, actually, I think, too, wasn't it?
That finally you had your own idea. This is spectacular. No, but listen, let's go back to the genesis. It was your idea to start this channel. It was your idea to put yourself out there. Okay. X amount of weeks, X amount of hours a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fantastic. And that's it. And and your subscribers are going to go up and up because as you notice, they have.
Yeah. And you're right, Deb. I'm glad you're doing this, Deb. So if anybody has questions during the show about workouts, So the core workouts, that's a huge discussion right there. And I think a really important discussion. That if I was to do things all over again, go back when I was younger, that would I concentrate on first. Work from the inside out. So
And it's not, and it's definitely not only sit-ups. It's definitely because the traditional sit-ups like this, you're hurting your neck. So it's almost anything but what I just did. Is what you want to do.
Yeah, that's the Bosu ball, all that kind of stuff. We'll get into that though. All right, everybody. So again, there's that 988 hotline. If everybody has any mental health issues, there's a lot of it out there. And reach out and help other people, and don't be afraid to ask for help as well. So,
remove the stigma and talk about it. And you could certainly reach out to us. And if we can't help you with what you're going through, because we're not professionals in it, we'll recommend you to the right person or people.
Good job. Great show, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Fantastic.